Government shutdown, because if the government does shut down, American
Excuse
employees are going to
me,
be furloughed.
stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open, and we want to work with the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody. We want to save lives. We want to make sure that health care is available to those who would die, but having the help of their government.
So you're good with the government shutdown, even if it means giving health care to people who aren't American citizens?
Well, that's what you're pushing on. What you're trying to do is you're standing here and you're trying to make me say that somehow we're going to put non-citizens over Americans. Quit it. Stop it. This is the kind of journalism we...
It's on our social media.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the point about giving people who are here illegally health care is not exactly what is in their proposal.
No, it is 100% what their
immigrants
proposal.
who have legal status,
No,
and you're just
Caitlin,
disagreeing
you're
on who's eligible.
No,
I
I'm
looked
not.
at it, actually, because I was curious about your argument yesterday.
You should study the CBO's analysis that they just put out a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw
and
that about the 1.2 million people. You're basically arguing about who has legal status, people who are seeking refuge here or seeking asylum.
No, I'm making sure that we are making sure in our provisions that we signed into law have ensured that health care benefits go only to eligible U.S. citizens.
Right,
Chuck
as
Schumer's
is federal
proposal.
law.
Federal law was not being enforced. That's the whole point. We had to fine-tune that so that we could strengthen the health care program. That's what we did.
On this,
That's a yes. That's a yes.
I mean,
That's a Democratic position.
It is a yes, but
Yeah.
It's a Democratic
Everyone in the
position.
world
Illegal
deserves
aliens should
healthcare.
get Medicaid.
But I mean,
How is this controversial?
I don't. But
How is it controversial?
How is it controversial that they don't want someone to die in the hospital?
how's it controversial? How's it controversial? So, this video is about why the government's shutting down. Yes, it's because they're trying to get health care for everybody. Everybody. And like I know, we had 10 million people added to our great country last year. And so they don't want to come out and say it, but here's the proof.
Hospital, they can't afford
Who do
it.
you think pays for health care when undocumented people show up at a hospital? Who pays for that?
We all pay for it.
Exactly.
Including
We all
undocumented
pay
people
for
because
it.
they actually contribute.
That's the point. That's the point.
We do realize that
Who pays for the welfare system in this country generally? Taxpayers.
And perhaps
Person comes in, a person who came into our country illegally, therefore breaking the law. And look, we all have big hearts. I have a bigger heart than you do. They're all breaking the law, and they're coming into our country. And we just, as a country, cannot afford to take care of millions of people who have broken the law coming in. We want them to come into our country, but we want them to come in legally. Now we have a strong border, very strong border, thanks to Christie and Tom Homan and the whole group. They've done an amazing job at the border. I mean, we had a border that was reckless. We had a border that was a disaster.
People who are here under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals programs. I guess there's different descriptions of what people see. What does that mean to you, a lawful preference? Would it refer to DACA?
We had a meeting with the President of the United States yesterday and made clear we're not trying to change current law. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people. In rural America, in suburban America, in urban America, in small town America, in the heartland of America, in black and brown communities all across America. That's what we're doing. That's what this fight is about.
I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman, with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
Closer to a government shutdown this morning, you said you might do a lot of layoffs. If DOGE is already reducing the federal workforce, why is it necessary to link more federal jobs cut to a shutdown?
Well, the Democrats want to shut it down, so when you shut it down, you have to do layoffs. So we'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and the Democrats, they're going to be Democrats. As you know, this country, no country can afford to pay for illegal immigration, health care for everybody that comes into the country, and that's what they're insisting. And obviously I have an obligation to not accept that. That would affect everybody. You know, when I see what we're doing with AI and all the
immigrants that are here right now.
That's a Republican talking point, and it's shameful that you would continue. Of course not. I just said repeatedly that it is not. And we made that clear in the Oval Office to President Trump and to Republican leaders. We've made that clear repeatedly. It's a Republican talking point. In fact, I'm being gentle. It's a lie. We are fighting for the health care of the American people. And
it's a lie. So why is the government shut down? It's a lie, though, right? Yesterday, I did a video, and the lady said in the video, this is a time to fight. This is a time to push back and get some wins. And so this is more political than anything. They don't care about us Americans. They could have figured this out a long time ago. But the Democrats want to they want to fund their agendas, and they want to be ridiculous. Because think about it. If the Republicans, right, they have the House and the Senate, but the Democrats are coming with a bill, or they're coming with several things in this bill that's not going to get passed, right? They're trying to fund PBS. They're not going to fund that, that liberal media. They're not going to fund that. They're trying to fund the Obamacare through COVID. They're not going to fund that. And most of all, they're not going to fund paying for illegals. They're just not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. And so what they were trying to do is reclassify what it means to be an illegal, saying they're refugees, right? Because everyone that went into cross the border, right, when Biden was the president, that's how they got all this aid, right? They classify them as refugees. So we're going to see how long this takes. You know, I feel bad for all the government workers because we don't know how long. And, you know, Trump is really hard-headed and he's not going to bend. And he's already enforcing a couple of New York projects are going to be on hold. And it's funny because Hakeem, right, that's his state. And now Trump is kind of penalizing him for what they're doing. So all the infrastructure is paused. So all that money is just buffering until things get signed. Anyways, it's CJ. I'm out.